Coming up on the Noon News, another school shooting this morning. This time it happened near Atlanta. Several students were injured. A young gunman is in custody. We'll have complete coverage, including eyewitness accounts of what happened. A loud protest at SFO this morning is getting more tense by the hour. In fact, police are now there in riot gear. We'll have a live report. Does this man hold the key to the disappearance of Christian Modafferi nearly 2 years ago? Also, a new lead in another missing persons case. Police say this man may know something about the disappearance of Julie Day. Those stories, plus why Safeway is paying out a lot of money to an elderly man. It's all coming up on the Noon News. Coming up in minutes on the Noon News, several students were injured in Georgia this morning in another school shooting. A young suspect is in custody. We'll have complete coverage.
A serious accident this morning involving a police cruiser. We'll tell you how and where it happened.
There are reports that this man may hold the key to what happened to Christian Modafferi, who's been missing for almost 2 years now.
Plus, riot police are out in force at a Bay Area airport. We'll be live to explain why. It's all coming up on the Noon News.
Coming up on the Noon News, a 15-year-old goes on a shooting rampage at a school near Atlanta. Several students are injured.
A loud, angry, and tense strike at a Bay Area airport this morning. Details in a live report.
An emotional appeal today from family and friends of a missing woman from Walnut Creek.
Plus, a breaking story in San Francisco about the discovery of a body in China Basin at noon.
2 major construction jobs have come to a halt due to a wildcat strike. Details in a live report.
Another school shooting, this time near Atlanta, 1 month to the day after Columbine.
And how technology is helping one part of nature, but hurting another. Those stories and much more next on the Noon News.
Live from the award-winning Channel 2 newsroom, the Noon News.
Good afternoon, I'm Tori Campbell.
And I'm Frank Somerville. We begin with a breaking story. Police in San Francisco have found the body of a white person. They are not saying whether that body is male or female, but the body was found in China Basin. We do have a reporter on the scene, and we'll have details in just a few minutes. One of the questions, of course, is could this body be that of Julie's son? She has been missing since Friday night, last seen at a bar in San Francisco. Today, family and friends held an emotional news conference pleading for her safe return. Dan Springer is live in our newsroom now and joins us with more. Dan?
Well, Frank and Tori, obviously nobody knows yet if that body is Julie Day's, but the latest development obviously has everyone involved in this case very worried. But it's not slowing down the family's intense search for Julie Day. Right now in San Francisco, family and friends are passing out flyers at a key BART station. It's where Julie Day would have likely tried to get on a train Friday night to return home to Walnut Creek. Meantime, police focus on a blurry yet crucial piece of evidence. Police say this is the man they're looking for, a man they say who unsuccessfully tried to use Julie Day's ATM card at 3 different San Francisco locations. The attempts were made early Saturday morning, not long after Day was last seen leaving the Bubble Lounge and getting into a yellow taxi cab.
We don't recognize him. The family does not recognize that man. And if people out there, given it is a difficult picture to see, but if people out there think it might be someone they know, someone they've seen working in the next office building or working down the hall, please call the police and let them decide if that's the guy or not.
Day's family and friends held an early morning news conference asking for the public's continued support and at times sending a message directly to Julie.
Julie, we love you very much. You don't even know how much is out here. You keep tough. We're coming to get you.
If Julie is watching, sweetheart, just hang in there. We're going to get you back.
Meantime, their volunteer effort grows. Already more than 10,000 flyers have been handed out. A website draws more potential leads, but so far there's only been frustration. Day's family, though, remains hopeful.
Keep the prayers coming. I feel it works, okay?
If that's going to be a problem.
The Day family plans on continuing its effort to keep the story in the public eye. Tomorrow they'll hold a candlelight vigil walking from the Justice Herman Plaza to the Bubble Lounge on Montgomery Street. But obviously, Frank and Tori, the story right now is, will police be able to determine soon if that body is Julie Day's or not? Police still have not told us even if it's a male or a female, but we understand that it's a body of a blonde person, and a black jacket was found near the woman. Reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Dan Springer. Frank and Tori, back to you.
All right, thank you, Dan. And as Dan and Frank had mentioned earlier, the body of a white person has been found in China Basin in San Francisco. Brian Banmiller is there on the scene right now and joins us with a live update. Brian?
Yes, Tori, just under an hour ago, police were called to the scene here. It's a construction scene right in the shadow of China Basin. And right now they are behind the fence there, taking a look at the body that was found in the midst of a bunch of rubble. It apparently looks like it was found by one of the contractors that's working out here, who called the police, and then they called the fire department to the scene. Right now, the San Francisco medical examiner's there taking a look at the body to see if they can make some positive identification of who it is. And this is what the captain on the scene had to say to me, Captain Roth, just moments ago.
All the help we need responding right now.
Can you tell if it's a woman?
I can't tell. It appears like it might be, but I can't tell at this moment.
What's the next step in your procedure now?
Well, the next step is we're going to wait for the forensic people to come out, and we're going to analyze the location, and we'll look for evidence and determine what happened.
How was the body found?
I'm not sure yet. I just got here.
Who found it?
I'm not certain.
Construction workers. Do we know what this property is?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you, Captain. And Captain, your name is?
That was Captain Ruff from the San Francisco Police Department, who had just arrived on the scene about 15 minutes ago. So said the medical examiner is here. This crime scene, they are just now starting to put the strips around the crime scene. This is less than a half an hour old. Of course, the first concern for everyone is that this could possibly be Julie Christine Day, but there is no word of that at all. They indicated could possibly be a woman, but they cannot confirm that at this moment. And forensics is in there now trying to see if they can make some sort of an identification. And again, we are not sure yet, and hope it's not everybody's worst fear. Frank and Tori.
All right, Brian Banmiller live in San Francisco with a breaking story. We'll continue to follow that. If we get any new information, we'll be sure to pass it along. As we reported earlier, a 15-year-old sophomore in Georgia today shot and wounded at least 6 students at a school outside of Atlanta. Eyewitnesses say the gunman was armed with a rifle and a revolver. Shawn Callebs is at the school in Conyers, Georgia, and filed this report just minutes ago.
Hours after the shooting, federal and state investigators are still combing the grounds in and around Heritage High School. Now, a while ago, warrants issued, and authorities are soon going to be examining the suspect's locker as well as his home. Authorities are trying to find clues and see if anyone had prior knowledge of this shooting. 6 students were wounded at Heritage High School, 25 miles east of Atlanta. A 15-year-old sophomore is in custody. Eyewitnesses say he fired several shots from a .22 caliber rifle into a group of hundreds of students.
First I thought it was like a cap gun or something fake, you know, just a senior prank or something. And I saw him get shot, and so we all took off running out of the commons area.
The 6 injured students were rushed to area hospitals. The Rockdale County Sheriff's Department says the rifle had apparently been altered.
It looks like the stock has possibly been removed, but it is a rifle probably 18 or 20 inches long.
Authorities went to search the boy's home and his school locker, looking for clues as to what could have triggered the shooting, and they're trying to find out if anyone else knew about this crime ahead of time. After the shooting stopped, the young gunman apparently put the weapon in his mouth. Vice Principal Cecil Brinkley is credited with convincing the student to drop the weapon. The shooting came a month to the day after the tragedy at Columbine High School, where 13 students were killed before the 2 suspects took their own lives.
It was scary because since the Columbine, you know, all that stuff happened, we didn't think anything like that would happen around here.
Today was the last scheduled day for classes for seniors. School administrators here say they are going to work hard to reestablish some sort of normalcy at this school. They say that finals and next Friday's graduation will go on as planned. In Conyers, Georgia, I'm Shawn Callebs. Now back to you.
Just hours after that shooting near Atlanta, Vice President Al Gore cast a tie-breaking vote to tighten restrictions on gun sales at gun shows. Democrats are calling this a huge victory for anyone who supports gun control. KTVU reporter Tracy Mitchell joins us live from Washington, D.C. now with the latest. Afternoon, Tracy.
Good afternoon, Frank and Tori. That definitely was a victory here in Washington, but the debate is continuing on that juvenile violence bill. Now, today, President Clinton has put pressure on Congress to try to pass even tougher laws to keep guns away from kids.
President Clinton left the White House today deeply troubled because more blood has been spilled in one of the nation's schools.
We thank God that the injuries to the students do not seem to be life-threatening. This incident again should underscore how profoundly important it is that all Americans come together in the face of these events to protect all of our children from violence.
The law didn't protect students and a teacher at Columbine High School in Colorado. A month ago today, 2 students took over the school and killed 13 people before turning the guns on themselves. Today, President Clinton and the First Lady will meet with the survivors of the tragedy, as well as relatives of the dead. They're calling for tougher gun laws.
Now, it's apparent that we have to do something about this, and this bill is a very, very considered attempt to do exactly that.
It's a struggle lawmakers face today as they debate the juvenile justice bill. And now more than ever, there's a sense of urgency to pass laws to keep guns out of the hands of children.
While we're compromising with the gun lobby, ambulances are rushing to Heritage High School to save children from another shooting. It is profoundly disheartening. How much longer are we going to embrace the gun lobby instead of the mothers and fathers of America?
Just hours after the shooting in Georgia, the Senate voted on a Democratic measure requiring background checks for anyone who buys a gun at a pawn shop or gun show. The vote was tied, but in a rare appearance, Vice President Al Gore presided over the Senate and casted the deciding vote.
On this vote, the yeas are 50, the nays are 50. The Senate being equally divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative, and the amendment is agreed to.
Now, that was just one amendment passed.